close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
Hey guys, today on the podcast we got Ryan Lester. I know it's taken me a bit to get an AFL player, but here we are. On the show is Ryan Lester. He was drafted number 28 in the 2010 draft for the AFL, and he's currently playing for the Brisbane Lions, where he's been his whole career. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you in the next one. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Good question. Probably I'm from Melbourne originally, so AFL was my main sport that everyone played down there. I enjoyed cricket as well, and basketball. So I played those three sports, and probably about 15 or 16 was when I guess picked AFL a little bit because that was the sport that I was the best at and probably enjoyed the most. So I chose AFL, and I was lucky enough to get drafted.
Yeah. How would your oldest friend describe you?
I reckon pretty quiet, but then once you get to know me, and once I maybe open up a little bit more, like pretty loyal to my friends and good fun to be around. And yeah, I like maybe a bit nerdy. Don't mind. I did all right at school, and I don't mind reading and trying to learn new things. So yeah, maybe a little bit nerdy for a normal sportsman.
Yeah. What are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of so far. I've had 10 years at the Brisbane Lions, and probably take it for granted sometimes, but certainly not everyone gets to have 10 years playing an elite sport. So I'm probably pretty proud that I've been able to last this long so far, and hopefully a few more years, and hopefully some good times ahead for the footy club.
Yeah. How do you handle hard times?
How do I handle hard times? Well, now's a little bit of an example of a hard time that we're going through. So one thing Fags has stressed to us is try and find opportunities out of hard times. So that's something that he learnt from Neil Danaher, who used to be a coach in the AFL. And so the opportunity now is that, we've been home for 6 or 7 weeks. And for me, I've been trying to do a bit of uni work and trying to work out what I want to do after football. And so I've had a little bit more time to do that, which has been good. For a lot of guys, the opportunity at the moment is that we're still getting paid. Whilst our pay has been cut, we're still getting paid just to keep fit and healthy at the moment. And I guess if you look at it that way, it's not too bad. Obviously, we love playing the game and can't do that at the moment. But all we've got to do at the moment is keep fit and healthy, and that shouldn't be too hard. So yeah, just trying to put a spin on it in your own sort of mind and find ways to either see an opportunity or see a positive. Yeah.
What are you studying in uni at the moment?
I study business, so I've my course is I've got to do 24 units, so it would be 3 years full time, but I study part time, and I've done 22, so I've got 2 to go, which is something I'll be pretty happy with if I can finish that at the end of this year, because I've just slowly done it, and hopefully I'll be finished by the end of this year.
Yeah. Was it hard moving to Brisbane from Melbourne?
No, not at all for me, because like what I said earlier, like AFL was sort of what I wanted to do from a young kid, but certainly from 15, 16. So then when I got drafted to Brisbane, we had Brownie and Simon Black and Luke Power, some of the legends of the game. And not just that, Richie and Tom Rockcliffe and Jack Redden and good players of the AFL, and it was a bit like how cool is this that I get to train with these guys and they become my friends. And so I sort of never really saw moving to Brisbane as an issue at all. And through the footy club, made a lot of friends here. And now I probably won't go back to Melbourne. I'll probably stay in Brisbane because, I love the weather, I love the lifestyle. A lot of my friends are here now, so that's one of the things of professional sport, I guess. You move a little bit, but I've been lucky that I've been able to stay at the Brisbane Lions for 10 years now, so I feel very grateful for that.
Yeah. What's the experience like getting drafted from all the workouts to getting your name called on that night?
Getting your name called. It's pretty good. I think you get a little bit of an idea leading up to the draft if you're going to get called or not. So I was lucky. Brisbane had pick 25, 28 and 32, and then they also had pick 50-something. And their recruiters sort of said to me in the week leading up to the draft that between 25, 28 and 32, they thought I was a good chance that they might take me, which is no guarantees, but it was a little bit of, if I don't go in those 3 picks, surely I'll go by pick 50 sort of thing. So, I didn't know specifically Brisbane because other clubs also show a little bit of interest, but when they were talking about me in that sort of range of picks, I thought that I must be a good chance at least later on in the draft. And when your name gets called out, just massive smile, and it was awesome. It was so good. And then your career starts from there, and then you try and work for your first game, and then you try and keep your spot in the team and keep growing from there. So I've been very lucky. It's been very good.
Yeah.
You gonna get drafted one day?
Maybe,
hopefully.
What other teams showed interest in you?
I think I spoke to maybe 12 out of 16. There's 18 teams now. I don't think GWS were in the competition when I got drafted, but 12 out of 17 teams. So Sydney showed a little bit of interest. Sydney, St Kilda, Melbourne are probably the next 3 teams that I thought I could be a chance to go to. As I said, despite Brisbane showing the most interest, you never really know because one team might secretly rate you really, really high, and then other teams don't rate you as high, and so they think they've got a bit of a steal later in the draft or whatever it is. So, but I feel very lucky the way it's all panned out.
Yeah. What was it like making your debut? Because you played round 1. What was that like?
That was pretty cool. I played a couple of the preseason games and I played all right. So I was pretty happy and lucky that I was getting games. And then, round 1 came around and I got picked. I remember Vossi telling me, and then calling my parents and letting them know. And Brownie presented me with my jumper. And I think for me now, every time I see one of our new players get presented with their jumper, it reminds you of what it was like in your first game. And you just think you're on top of the world because you get to run out in front of a crowd and wear an AFL jumper, and all of it's just very, very cool. It's living a childhood dream. So I think when I ran through the banner, couldn't stop smiling, even though I was trying to take it serious that it was a game. It was just an amazing moment. And I guess try not to take it for granted too much as you get through your career. You try and, as I said, you remember back to your first game and how exciting it was. And try and appreciate every game that you play.
Yeah. What's it been like playing for the Lions the last 10 years?
It's been hard at times. Obviously, last year was our first year of finals for my 10 years of playing at the club. So, it's no fun getting beaten by, well, we only won 3 or 4 games a year and we got flogged a few times. And fans sort of, some fans are really loyal and then other fans are sort of question how hard you're trying and all that sort of thing. And it's never a case of that. It's always just a little bit of confidence and a little bit of team continuity, a couple of injuries. We were quite young at the time. So, things didn't go away for a long time. And then ever since Fags has come along, we've slowly improved year on year. And obviously last year we were lucky enough to win, 15 or 16 games for the season. And I remember in the back half of the year when we started winning, I think we won 9 games in a row. And it was awesome. It was, it made you appreciate some of the tough times that you went through to get to the good times. And I wouldn't, I don't feel like I've missed out at all because I haven't played finals or anything like that. That's just the team you get drafted to. And I've probably had a better appreciation now of what a good culture is like. And, been lucky with Fags. And hopefully we can stay up the top of the ladder for a long time to come now. And as a leader, I try and help young guys who come through and teach them the right things to do. And, hopefully we can keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been hard as a supporter, hasn't
it? Yeah. What was your path to the AFL?
Because I'm from Melbourne, just played local football, like most of my mates. And then I didn't play any representative, like play for Victoria or anything. Didn't play like local representative teams or anything like that until under 17s and 18s. And I played in the TAC Cup, which is the under 18 league down there where they pick the players from. And I was lucky enough to play well in that for Oakley Chargers, and then played under 18 Vic Metro. And I played sort of fullback or back pocket. And for my club team, I'd played through the midfield. So it sort of helped me a little bit. That showed that I was versatile, and teams sort of liked that and saw me in one position they really liked, and then other teams saw me in a different position they really liked. So, and then I had a couple of injuries in my last year under 18s. But only missed like maybe 6 or 7 games here and there. So not too bad, but I wasn't the star growing up, as I said, pretty much from 17 and 18 because I'd worked hard for a couple of years. I started to get rewarded, and a lot of people change at different times and get better at different times. So, yeah.
Yeah. What are your goals for the next couple of years?
I think one of my main goals is to play. I wasn't lucky enough to play in the finals last year. We didn't have any injuries, and I sort of fell out of the team maybe 6 weeks to go in the season, and then unfortunately, didn't have any injuries, and the team was going so well, so there were no changes. So I didn't get to play a final. So I'd love to play a final at some stage, and a winning one, because we didn't get to win one this year. So that would be awesome. And I've played 127 games or 28 games, and I'd love to play 150 games. But we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to, even though I'm 10 years into my career, you still got to try and improve, because there's so many young guys coming through that are really good. So, just trying to improve, and we'll see what happens this year. It's a little bit of unknown still at the moment, unfortunately, but once we get back out there, hopefully we can get a few games and the team can play well and tick those 2 things off. What do you reckon?
Yeah. How are you keeping yourself busy and fit during this time?
I've been the club has given us a program to do, running and weights program. So we do that 3 times a week. So the running is, we usually do about 8 to 10 Ks a session, and a little bit of running like around the oval, and then a little bit of kicking the ball together and moving around. So I've been doing that with Harris Andrews, which has been good. He's really fit, so he's been pushing me hard. And yeah, we just, for the first couple of weeks, it wasn't too bad. And then for a couple of weeks, motivation was a little bit up and down because the season seemed like it was so far away. But then probably in the last couple of weeks, there's been a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So it hasn't been too bad. And being able to train with Harris up here in Brisbane where the weather's pretty good, yeah, you can't complain too much.
Yeah. Who's the worst teammate to room with through your career and why?
Mitch Robinson, maybe.
Yeah, why?
He's the most energetic guy there is. So he'll come into a room or like, we'll be getting ready for training and all of a sudden he'll come in yelling and screaming, which we love. Like, it's great for the energy of the group, but if you're rooming with him, I think, you'd want a bit of peace and quiet sometimes, I reckon. So I'll go Mitch Robinson.
Yeah. What's the best word that can describe you right now?
I will go with genuine. I think I am who I am. I've got good family and friends, and people know me. Those people know me really well, and I don't try and be anyone else. I just try and be myself. So yeah. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that word means anything to you, Max, but probably a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. What advice would you give a 12-year-old today?
I think in terms of sport, like if you want to try and pursue a career or something like that, I would say just have fun and play as many sports as you can and want. And I think when you're 12 or 13, it's just about actually enjoying the game that you're playing. And if you enjoy it, then you'll practice more. And if you practice more, you'll get better. So, probably for someone like your age, I would just say play whatever you want and enjoy it. Once you get to maybe 14, 15, then maybe you start training a little bit harder than your friends and doing a little bit more, and that's what I did, and that's maybe what got me to the position I am today. But as long as you're enjoying it, I think that's the main thing. And off the sporting field, I would say which is something that Fags tries to push for us, is just try and learn and keep getting more knowledge in anything. So I don't know, watch a documentary or watch the news or read a book or something like that. Just keep learning stuff because it's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on today, Ryan.
No worries at all, Max.
I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the story of an AFL player. I know it's taken me a bit to get an AFL player on, but here he is now. Hope you guys really enjoyed. I'll see you in the next.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry,